my soul is tormented by a succubus. Calling sis, pencil dripping from the way I spit. Fell in love.
We are now a week away from it being exactly 1 month since the first season of Tower of God finished airing its final episode. Now that it's over, a lot of people have been binge watching the episodes and checking out the English dub that Crunchyroll put out for it, which was about 4 weeks behind the Japanese, I believe. I did personally watch both, and I do gotta say that the best word I can use for the casting is interesting, because in my opinion, the voices between the English and the Japanese did not really match, except for maybe Rock. I'm not saying anything bad about either of them, but they do give off somewhat of a different feel from each other. Believe it or not, Rachel actually comes off somehow more likable in the dub, because I disliked her straight from her first scene, but when the dub episode came out, I was like, huh, that's weird. I don't immediately dislike her. But since the ending of the season, the obvious question came up in all our heads, and that was, when is the second season going to come out? Especially since season 1 barely scratched the surface of what the story of Tower of God has to tell, which is why in the last episode you hear Head-On say this is just the beginning, because it is. The story really starts with season 2. We have gotten information here and there about the second season, and when we can see it, some of course we have to take with a grain of salt depending on who is reporting on it, but we also had a synopsis for the story of season 2, which is still up on the channel for you to check out. But it seems Crunchyroll's director of brand and title marketing has made statements to multiple sources about the next season of Tower of God. The longest interview he had was with Anime News Network, where he talks about multiple Crunchyroll original shows, but I'm going to stay within the lanes of Tower of God for this video. So the first thing he was asked, which I'm not even sure why people talk about, is this is a hotly debated topic in the fandom. Are CR originals like Tower of God and God of High School anime inspired, or animation? I think the answer to that is obvious, but he said Tower of God and the God of High School are anime series created in Japan. I just don't understand why people think just because the author of the comic was Korean that the show somehow is not an anime. It makes no sense. But anyway, he's then asked specifically about more seasons for the anime. Taking on the Tower of God adaptation is bold. The webcomic has run for 10 years. The comic is currently in its 3rd season on Webtoon. Does Crunchyroll intend to follow the whole story? What factors would need to be in place to see a multiple season adaptation? Then the director answers, the fan reaction to Tower of God has been incredible and inspiring. We're so happy the audience loves Bomb's story as much as we do. You'll have to check out the series yourself to see how far we follow Bomb up the tower in season 1. Can't share too much, but again, we're so glad that the fans all over the world have been enjoying the show. Now, this next part I'm going to share is actually not from Anime News Network, but it's from a different news outlet called Cinemaholic. But the reason why I'm interrupting the interview from Anime News Network is because Cinemaholic makes a statement about the director that pretty much goes along with this question that he's asked, but it isn't on Anime News Network, so that's why I'm taking it from Cinemaholic. So a statement from Cinemaholic says, after speaking to Carter Hanso, Crunchyroll's director of brand and title marketing, him knowing about the positive response that Tower of God was receiving, claimed that Tower of God will not only have 2, but will possibly have multiple season adaptations. Now that's a bold statement to allude to multiple seasons right away, but it wouldn't be the first time something like that happened, considering that The Rising of the Shield Hero is a Crunchyroll co-production that had season 2 and 3 of its anime confirmed at the same time. But then finally he's asked if the pandemic will affect production of the release date, and his answer is, the entire industry has been impacted in some way. I think there's more to come. We're a ways from the end of it. We don't have anything specific to report right now, but we will make it a priority to update our viewers as those come in. If you want to know more info about Tower of God season 2, of course make sure to check out the other videos on the channel, but for now I want to thank you guys for watching, and I would appreciate it if you left a like before you go. My name's Konjik, and I'll talk to you in the next video.